There are several reasons why, despite their great physical diversity, commodities are considered as a relatively coherent set by economists. They indeed share a number of economic characteristics, including high volatility. This volatility reflects the fact that commodity prices can vary greatly from one day to the next, depending on the variations in supply and demand, which are themselves influenced by a wide variety of economic, geopolitical, climate, or financial factors. It must be distinguished from cycles and trends, which are medium and long-term phenomena. You can see on this graph the price of copper on the London Metal Exchange, which is the reference market for industrial metals, with considerable drops following the financial crisis of 2008 and, of course, the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic in the first months of 2020. This volatility obviously has a considerable impact on the turnover of companies producing or using commodities, on the income of exporting or importing countries, and on the purchasing power of households. There are very limited solutions to diminish this volatility, meaning that one has to cope with it and to find solutions to deal with the consequences of this volatility, that is, price risk. The fact that when you're a buyer, the price of a commodity could suddenly go up or down when you're a producer. There are basically two ways for a company to do this, either by using fixed price commercial contracts or by using what are called financial derivatives. We will see in this MOOC why the latter are usually preferred. Price risk stems from the fact that we do not know at T0 at what price we will sell or buy a given commodity at T plus N. Price risk management implies finding a mechanism for setting a price at T0 for this commodity sold or bought at T plus N. This is the principle of forward pricing. A first way to do this is simply to set this forward price in a commercial contract. A buyer and a seller agree today on the price at which they will trade a commodity at a future date for one or more deliveries. This solution is obviously very practical, but has one major drawback: the counterpart risk it implies. This risk reflects the fact that the buyer or seller may not fulfill his contract and in particular may not deliver or take delivery of the product. You see on the graph a straight line corresponding to the fixed price on which a buyer and a seller have agreed. The up and down curves represent the fact that the market price can either go up or down. In the first case, it is easy to understand that the seller may have an interest in not respecting his contract, that is, not selling the goods to the buyer in order to benefit from high prices on the market. In the second case, the buyer has an interest in denouncing its contract in order to benefit from lower prices on the market. Of course, there will be consequences to this breach of contract, but given the volatility of prices, the gains can be greater than the losses. In reality, buyers and sellers are well aware of this risk and are often reluctant to use this type of fixed price contract. They will therefore tend to use variable price contracts, where the counterpart risk is null, but the price risk is high. This will require them to use financial derivatives to manage it. This is known as a hedging strategy.